This is our legacy, 5 friends who will stay together forever. Even though our journey ended far too soon in the shadows on this March 26, 1991. It is March 26, 1991. For the first time in 30 years, local elections are being held in South Korea. While the adults head to the polls, our school-free day begins. We set off from our neighborhood in Daegu. It is cloudy and light rain is expected, but all we feel is the excitement for the adventure that lies ahead of us on Mount Waryong. We run past our school, Seo Elementary. Today, there are no lessons. Today, the day belongs to us and our curiosity. At the supermarket, we meet our schoolmate Tae-reong-ham. He sees us laughing one last time before we leave the inhabited area. We pass an elderly lady returning from voting. She hears us calling out and asking, "Do you think we'll make it back home in 2 hours?" At Seongsan High School, we meet classmates Kyung-yeol Kim and Tae-seok Lee. We proudly shout to them, "We're going to look for bullet casings at the shooting range today." Now we leave the city behind. The path leads us steeply upward, directly into the woods of Mount Waryong, a path of no return. We fool around, nudge each other, and enjoy our freedom. We are just children who have forgotten the world around us for a moment. In this instant, only our laughter and the next adventure lying ahead on the mountain matter. But the atmosphere changes as we reach the edge of the military grounds. A lonely watchtower rises into the gray sky, surrounded by barbed wire. It is the boundary of the 50th Infantry Division's shooting range, a place that both fascinates and intimidates us. From the edge of the woods, we stop and watch the movements on the grounds. We see the shooting ranges and the warning signs of the 50th Division. For us, this isn't a place of war, but a place where we expect to find the precious bullet casings we want to collect today. We begin our mission. Using sticks, we dig into the hard ground, always searching for the shiny metal. We are so focused on our treasures that we barely notice how the silence of the forest around us is growing heavier. Suddenly, he appears before us, a soldier from the 50th Division in full gear. He looks at us sternly and his words cut through the air. "I've been watching you. Get out of here before you get into trouble." We nod in awe. We have been taught to treat elders, and especially men in uniform, with absolute respect. After the scare at the shooting range, we retreat to the creek in Gurajai Valley. The water calms us down. We forget the warning and search for salamander eggs. We feel safe because we are together, 5 friends who are like family to each other. Suddenly, the mood changes. The sky darkens, and an eerie feeling creeps up inside us. Our laughter dies down. We don't run away. Why did we stay? Perhaps because the danger had a face we had learned to obey, or one that completely captivated us in that moment. Here, our adventure ends, and the great silence of the mountain begins. This is Ham Sung-hoon, one of our schoolmates. While we were up in Gurajai Valley, he was also on the mountain. He heard them 2 piercing screams that tore through the air in quick succession. He ran to the police. He wanted to help us, but the officers brushed him off. They didn't believe a child reporting screams in the forest. These ignored screams were our final signal to a world that refused to listen. It has grown late. Our parents sit at the police station, their faces marked by fear and anxiety. They want to report us missing, pleading for help. But the officer's response is devastating. It's surely nothing serious. They probably just ran away. While precious time slips by, a nightmare begins for our families, one that would never end. Look at this. Here you can see our path. From our school, past the residential houses, straight up to Mount Waryong. You can see the proximity to the 50th Division's shooting range and the creek in Gurajai Valley. It is chilling to see how close we were to home, only 2 kilometers as the crow flies. And yet how perfectly this terrain hid us from the world. Although we had no school today, our Seo Elementary School was the designated meeting point. This is where we gathered after leaving our homes. It was our starting point, where we set down our bags and shared the excitement for the mountain. Our path led us past this little neighborhood shop, a place where we would normally laugh and perhaps grab a quick banana milk or some sweets for the way symbols of a childhood that still seemed so safe here. We moved on and passed CNCO Middle School at the foot of the slope. Look how close the buildings still are. We were almost still within sight of our familiar surroundings as we began the ascent. Here we passed the Memorial for Children's Safety. It is important to note, in 1991, this place did not exist. This monument was erected much later, after our disappearance, as a solemn reminder right here where we walked back then. Now we are moving toward Mount Waryong. You can clearly see the proximity to the 50th Infantry Division's shooting range, a massive restricted area that bordered directly on our paths and playgrounds. The camera now leads us deep into Gurgi Valley ashes. Here, in the silence of the mountain, far from the protective eyes of our parents, our fate was to be fulfilled. Just a short distance from our school land, yet a journey of no return. It took us only 5 minutes to get from our front doors to our meeting point at CTO Elementary School. After a brief 2-minute stop at the shop for a banana milk, we passed CTO Middle School 10 minutes later. The climb past the shooting range took about 20 minutes. In total, it took us barely 45 minutes to get from our homes to the site where we were found in Gurgi Valley. Only 2 kilometers separated us from safety. We were so close, yet lost forever. On that day, the weather in Daegu changed abruptly. A cold, relentless rain set in. The clouds hung low over Mount Waryong, plunging everything into a dismal gray. It was the perfect weather to erase tracks and swallow the cries of those searching for us. Later, the authorities would claim that this very weather sealed our fate. Their theory: we had gotten lost in the rain and darkness. Shivering from the cold, we would have huddled close together to keep each other warm, until we finally froze to death in our sleep together. This explanation sounded logical to the police, a tragic accident caused by hypothermia, but for our parents, it never made sense. Why would 5 boys, who knew the mountain like the back of their hands and were so close to the lights of the city, simply give up and lie down to die? The silence of the mountain continued, while the true cause remained buried deep in the earth. While our parents searched desperately, investigators sat before their files. They quickly dismissed our deaths as an accident or freezing. But how can that be? We knew this mountain like the back of our hands. It was our playground. An accident might happen to 1 child, maybe 2, but certainly not to 5 of us at the same time and in the same place. Who could it have been? If a stranger had threatened us, we would have run away. There were 5 of us. We would have fought back. But our theory is different. Perhaps it was a familiar face, a young soldier from the nearby shooting range, a friend's older brother, or a construction worker from the many nearby sites. Someone we knew, someone we respected, and whose instructions we followed deep into the woods without any suspicion. The mountain was a military-restricted area, with the echo of Daewoo K2 rifles, the military's standard weapon since the 80s, ringing out everywhere. To us, the sound was normal, almost the background music of our play. A soldier in uniform didn't inspire fear, but respect. When he ordered us to follow him, we did so without suspicion, firmly believing he was an authority figure who meant us no harm. We had no idea that this uniform would become a trap. The wounds on our heads were mysterious. A nail gun, like those used all over construction sites in Daegu in 1991, creates terrible, puncture-like marks and high pressure. Such a tool in the wrong hands would explain the violence that no fall could ever have caused. These were not signs of an accident. They were traces of tools that were within reach on every construction site. Someone abused their power against 5 defenseless children. Was it someone we had greeted kindly? Or was it the darkest theory of all? A perpetrator who later posed as an expert and even accused one of our fathers, just to divert suspicion from himself. While Jong-sik's father's house was turned upside down and his soul was broken, the true killer might have been sitting in the audience, enjoying his work. A familiar face that led us to our deaths while the world watched as innocents were destroyed. While Daegu grew beneath us, something strange happened upon the mountain. We are said to have lain in that hollow for 11 years? In the middle of the search area? That's hard to believe. Thousands of soldiers marched over this ground, but no one saw us. It almost seems as if we were hidden on purpose. We disappeared on a March 26th, exactly 11 years later. On a September 26th, we were found. Were we perhaps brought back there much later? Look at these masses of police. They say they turned over every stone, but they started too late and searched the wrong way. Was it incompetence or intent? While the whole country waited, it felt as if they didn't want to find us at all. Being discovered exactly 11 years later, on the same date, raises a haunting question. Was there a cover-up? Did we have to disappear for so long so that the truth would remain buried with us? Look at these walls. Flyers, newspaper reports, and handwritten notes everywhere. Our faces stared at people from every street corner. Every headline was a desperate attempt to keep our memory alive before it faded. It is overwhelming to see how our fate turned into paper fluttering in the wind or stuck to gray walls. These flyers were the only thing our parents had left, the hope that someone would read an article and remember. Look at our friends. We were popular at school. We had plans and laughed together during breaks. Now they stand there in their uniforms, holding our faces in their hands. It breaks our hearts to see them like this. They call out our names while we must watch from the darkness as they grow up without us. They carry our pictures through the streets of Daegu, hoping to find their friends again, but the seat next to them in the classroom remains empty. Look at our fathers tirelessly distributing these flyers. Every passerby who pauses for a moment carries our fate with them for a brief second. Our families never gave up looking for us, even as the years passed and the world had almost forgotten us. Even if they couldn't find us physically, they know deep inside that we are always with them. We are the shadows that accompany them and the voices in the wind until we truly meet again someday. Look at this march. Children, no older than us, carry signs through the streets. Where are you, they say. It's a sad sight. They are fighting for a return that will never happen. We weren't strangers to them. We were their playmates. That our absence triggered such a wave of fear and sympathy shows how deep the wound in Daegu truly was. These are the trucks. Our fathers turned them into mobile memorials. Our portraits and urgent pleas for help were plastered everywhere. They drove through every city, hoping someone had seen us. It breaks our hearts to see how they sacrificed their livelihoods to keep these trucks rolling. They were ready to drive to the end of the world just to find us again. These sketches of us were meant to help identify us. Here you see us as we were, children with dreams who wanted to go home. These images became symbols for an entire nation, fearing for its safety. But while people looked at these drawings, we had already become part of the mountain's earth, hidden from every searching eye. Even at night, the trucks stood in crowded squares. Our fathers called our names through megaphones. They slept in those cabs, living on donations and hope. Every day without news was like a stab to the heart. You can see the exhaustion in their faces. They were looking for a needle in a haystack, while the police had almost given up on us. Here we are once more, all 5 of us together. They called us the Frog Boys, but we were just friends who wanted to find salamander eggs. This image is a reminder of how fragile a family's happiness is. We look into the camera, not knowing these would be the last photos of us. A legacy on paper, while the truth in the woods waited to come to light. Mount Waryong was our kingdom. We knew every bush and every hidden path as if it were our own backyard. We felt free and safe there. It is incomprehensible that this familiar forest became a trap for us and hid us from the world's eyes for 11 years. Looking at these paths today, you can still feel our lost lightheartedness and our childhood laughter. A reward of 42 million won was offered and the entire country was mobilized. Over 300,000 personnel combed through the mountain. It was systematically searched over 500 times. Despite these unprecedented efforts, the ground remained silent. How could they overlook us for 11 years with such a massive operation? Was the search truly as thorough as they claimed? The 50th Infantry Division's shooting range was very close by, but there was a problem. In 1991, the police had no authority there. It was military territory, and the soldiers strictly denied access to civilian investigators. This legal wall provided the perfect protection to make traces disappear. Was this prohibition used to cover up a fatal mistake or an act from within their own ranks? In 1991, a climate of violence prevailed in military service. Those in uniform held the power, and those with power tolerated no mistakes. An incident involving us children would have destroyed careers and brought shame upon the entire unit. To maintain their clean record, these authorities were willing to use any means. Were we the victims of a system that placed its image above our lives? September 26, 2002. 11 years after our disappearance, on March 26, 1991, everything changed. Our parents didn't find out about the discovery of our remains from the police, but from the radio, television, or neighbors. They were left alone with this cruel news, as if our lives were worth nothing. 11 years of hope shattered in a second by an anonymous voice from a loudspeaker. The mountain had released us, but the authorities' true betrayal of our families was just beginning. Here you see the official reconstruction of our discovery site. The authorities' theory states that we huddled close together in this hollow to brave the cold. It is suspected that we knotted our sleeves together to preserve body heat as best as possible and to protect one another. In this depiction, our end is shown as a tragic moment of solidarity. 5 friends who tried to keep each other warm in the freezing night until their very last breath. Look at our belongings. In this damp mountain soil, our tracksuits and shoes should have decayed after 11 years. Yet the colors still shine. The nature of the soil on Mount Waryong is aggressive. It should have swallowed the blue and red long ago. The fact that our clothes came out of the earth almost like new proves we had not been lying in this hollow since 1991. Someone brought us here much later, long after the search had cooled down. Here on the yellow tape hang our faces. While the world watched as they dug for us in the earth, we looked back from these frames. This tape separates the lie from the truth. The police wanted to close the case quickly with the diagnosis of hypothermia to avoid answering uncomfortable questions. But our eyes and these photos demand more than just a quick file. They demand that someone finally admits we were placed here. This is the moment the earth released us. In this small hollow, which had been searched hundreds of times, we suddenly appeared. The fact that we lay there stacked like that makes it impossible for our families to believe we simply fell asleep peacefully. This photo is a monument to the authorities. Failure, or proof of a perfect staging that was only allowed to end in 2002 so that no one would be held accountable anymore. Look at our parents, our families, and our friends. See this infinite pain, this sorrow in their faces as they look at what remains of us. They finally found us after all these years, but in this moment, their hearts are broken for good and find no rest. They feel that the full truth is not being told. Their pain cries out for justice, while the authorities only want to remain silent. We are back, but peace is missing. Do you hear our father's words? He said, it wasn't the wind or the rain that tied our children so tightly. Nature doesn't make knots like that. That was the hand of a human. Look at this tracksuit in the mud. These knots are no protection against the cold. They are silent witnesses that we were not alone. Someone bound us, took our freedom, and left us here. Here we lie, between bones and dirt. But look at the scraps of fabric and our shoes. In this acidic, damp soil, they should have decayed long ago after 11 years. The mountain's chemistry eats everything except the evidence of a lie. The fact that our clothes still have color screams against the official story. We had not been lying in this hollow since 1991. The police spread our belongings out on a white sheet. Our parents stand before it, the ground swaying beneath their feet. Every piece of fabric that still holds together is evidence against an accident. The white sheet was meant to bring light into the darkness, but it became the stage for a truth that people are still trying to bury today. In the cool light of the lab, our parents take one last close look. They touch the shoes that remained almost intact. Here, the deception becomes tangible. Materials that lie in aggressive soil for over a decade look different. Our parents feel it in every fiber of their being. The authorities' timeline is wrong. Forensics show the traces of the staging. Look at this tracksuit. It is marked, but it is there. A low pH value in the soil makes no exceptions for children's clothing. The fact that this fabric still exists is the loudest argument we have. We were not defeated by the mountain. We were brought here when the perpetrators thought no one would ask the right questions anymore. But our parents never stopped asking. Look at this blue. Third tracksuits were a mix of cotton and synthetic fibers. The police want to make us believe that these colors survived 11 years of rain, snow, and the aggressive soil of the mountain. But everyone knows, natural fibers rot, colors fade under the elements. That this blue still shines after more than a decade is impossible. It is the proof they simply ignore. We weren't up here the whole time. Look at the notches in our skulls. Experts found up to 25 deep impact marks. Was it a military rifle like the Daegu K2 that the soldiers carried? Or another angular tool that left these precise holes? The deep impacts prove it was no accident. It was a brutal attack. While the authorities spoke of getting lost, our bones were already screaming the truth about this horrific murder. There they sit, our fathers, grown old on the cold rocks of the mountain. In 2017, hope flared up again when they promised new DNA tests, but it was a farce. Due to a lack of evidence, they simply stopped the tests and left our families in the dark once more. A father does not forget, and he does not forgive when the search is simply abandoned. Where the yellow tape once fluttered, nature has reclaimed the land. The old conifers and oaks stand there like guardians of our history. Their roots reach deep into the earth, where we were hidden, and their leaves witnessed every scream and every silence. They are our only witnesses. While grass grew over the discovery site, the trees kept our memory alive. The sun rises over the woods, peaceful and still. Yet beneath these trees lies the dark truth of our final hours. Our families will not find peace as long as the murderers are free and facts are ignored. We are back in the light of the world, but our spirits wander this mountain until justice prevails and the silence is finally broken. We are still waiting. Look at these paths. This is Mount Waryong, our playground. The police say we got lost here. But how can you lose your way where you know every stone and every bush? We knew exactly where we were. To portray us today as disoriented children who walked in circles is an insult to our friendship. We knew the way home, they just didn't let us go. From up here, you can see it clearly. The city lights were within reach. We were never lost in an endless wilderness. We were right on your doorstep. The authorities wanted a quick answer, an end to the headlines. They ended the search before they even touched the truth. For them, the case was closed. For our families, hell was just beginning. Here, very close to where they found us, lies the shooting range. A place the investigators would have preferred to erase from history. Who could have heard us here when gunshots tore through the air? The police simply ignored this place and its connection to our deaths. They buried the case while the trail to the shooting range was still fresh. The files were sealed so that no one would see what happened. Mount Waryong looks so peaceful from here, but beneath its green skin lie the lies of decades. The truth is out there, somewhere between the GPS coordinates and the old reports. But as long as the authorities prefer to look away, this mountain remains a monument to injustice. We didn't just disappear, we were left behind in the shadow of the city, and no one wanted to turn on the light. Look at this transformation. From 1991 to today, Daegu has completely changed. While the city grew beneath us and the world advanced relentlessly, we remained trapped in that March day. The world keeps turning, new houses were built, dreams were lived. Only our mountain guards a secret that decades could not heal. Time passes, but our story stands still. There they stand now, at the place that marked us forever. Our fathers, exhausted by decades of uncertainty. They come here to be close to us, to remember, and to ask the questions to which they never received an answer. Every stone up here knows their tears. Their tireless struggle is the only light in the darkness that has surrounded us since 1991. We were a single unit, 5 friends who loved their Mount Waryong above all. I, Woo Kil-won, led the way. Jo Ho-yeon laughed with energy, while Kim Young-kyu knew every corner of the forest. Park Chen-in was our bright explorer, and Kim Jong-sik was our youngest with the warm face. We didn't seek danger, only freedom and salamander eggs. This mountain was our home. This image shows us where we should be in the safety of our school. We were cheerful children from Dalseo, students of Seonseo Elementary with our whole lives ahead of us. Our classrooms remained empty, our chairs unoccupied. This photo is the last testament to our innocence before we became the shadows of the mountain. It reminds people who we were before the world only knew us as a tragic legend. As I looked into this tragedy, my heart ached. To lose a child is a pain that cannot be described without personal experience. These boys were denied their dreams. Behind every name lies an eternal void in a mother's heart. The parents never gave up. In 2004, they committed the ashes to the Nakdong River. In Korea, it is said that souls find their freedom in the water. The river carries them away, far from the pain. Even though their souls are free, the pain remains. The agonizing questions of why never leave the families. New DNA tests and the search for truth must never end. These 5 boys deserve a voice. As long as this mountain exists, they will never be forgotten. Woo Chil-won, Jo Ho-yeon, Kim Young-gu, Park Chan-in, Kim Jong-sik, may your souls rest in peace far away from the mountain. You are no longer the children the mountain held captive. You are now the flowers that bloom in our hearts every spring. We will give your names a voice until the truth finds its way to you. Rest softly.